Hey, good morning, everybody. What's going on? This is Average Discussion. Thank you for joining me today in Studio Silverado. Today is March 11th, 2024. It's about 44 degrees here in the outskirts of the Salt Lake City area. Thank you for joining me. As always, I appreciate the love and support. Um, it's a new week. Monday. Nobody wants to go to work. At least I don't. I don't want to go to work, but I kind of have to. This week might be a little bit busy. Who knows? We'll see what goes on. But either way, thank you for joining me today. Here on Average Discussion, I like to talk about, anything that sparks my mind in the moment. Yesterday I did some Sunday sports talks. Pretty small. I kept it local to a few things. I would by no means say it's a sports channel, okay, but I do enjoy sports. So if you haven't done so, that video is out on YouTube. Please go over there and check that out. The channel is called Average Discussion. Now, most of the time what I do is, I get into the conversation by talking about some topics, news-related topics to be specific. I try to avoid politics. I don't always succeed in that, but I do try to avoid politics just because, well, it's super annoying. And the other thing I'm going to be working on is not cussing. so bear with me. Cuss words are a very, very regular part of my vocabulary, but I've done it before, so I'm pretty sure I can do it again. So first thing we'll jump into some world news here. So Haiti continues to deteriorate. Apparently the U.S. military is airlifting non-essential staff from the embassy in Haiti. It bolsters security amid ongoing gang violence. Now, I'm not sure if you could call this, what you would necessarily define this as, but is it a revolution? Is it a civil war? I feel like if they win, it's a revolution, right? If they lose, it was a civil war. But either way, the U.S. is getting its non-essential people out of there. Not really sure what it matters. Outside of just giving up the territory, I'm not really sure what it matters. But so if you didn't know, that's what's going on there. I'm not entirely specific on what's going on in Haiti. All I know is that what they're calling gangs of people have linked together, armed themselves, and they're starting to cause chaos and attack the government and stuff. I saw something last week, I think it was, where they were trying to take over the airport. So that's why I say I don't know if you can call this a revolution or a civil war. It's very, very interesting there. So if you weren't aware, Haiti's having some problems. If you're stuck in all the Ukraine stuff and the stuff going on in Gaza area, this is also happening as well. I don't know. It's not good. That stuff never leads to good things, in my opinion. It just leads to more death and chaos. So, switching over to Nigeria, the northwest area of Nigeria, to be a little bit more specific, at least 287 school children were kidnapped by armed gunmen in northwest Nigeria. This happened back on Thursday, I believe it was. Absolutely crazy. It's just the simple fact that you could just kidnap 300 kids is crazy to me. Like, absolutely crazy. The picture shows, a bunch of guys getting out in army fatigues with some AK-47 looking rifles. And they just rounded up 300 kids. Now, I don't know if that's the African military and they're just coming to police up the scene or whatever the case is. But apparently this is a pretty common theme. Because a similar situation happened in 2021 where 140 students were taken. So, listen, I don't know the reasons behind it, but from what I understand of the area, child slave labor is very important to them. Not necessarily important, but a big part of things that go on there. So that's very unfortunate. I think, in my opinion, I don't know. It's a slippery slope, right? Like, we're really focused on all the stuff going on with Israel and that, right? But I feel like this needs some global attention and needs some help. Because I don't know the ins and the outs of the Israel thing. All I do know is that they have a long history of conflict amongst each other, that obviously is detrimental. But at the same time, there's a lot of factors in that we can't really break down overnight, stemming from religious issues. I mean, you could definitely take it back to that. I know that it's not just religious, right? I do understand that, but that is a huge foundation behind the conflicts going on there. I'm actually reading a book right now that's talking about that area in ancient times, and it's constantly just been a thing, and it's generally been motivated towards religious ideology. So, I know there's more to it than that. Okay, I'm not saying that that's the sole purpose for what's going on there, but I do know that it's a factor, and it's very unfortunate. Whereas I feel like with this stuff, this just needs somebody to come in and get rid of that crap. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about it. But unfortunately, I don't think you can do that without boots on ground, and that seems to be the big thing that a lot of Americans don't want to support. But I feel like that one in particular, we're talking about kids being kidnapped. I feel like that's a noble cause, and I don't know. I'd volunteer. They won't take me again. They already had me. They got rid of me. They won't take me again. But that's something that I could hang my head on to say I was proud of, in my opinion. But moving over to the northeastern part of Nigeria, there was a terror strike in northeast Nigeria as suspected insurgents abduct 50. So on the northeast side, they're doing the same thing. They abducted mostly women. Can't imagine why. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on in Nigeria. I'll have to look into this a little bit more. To be honest with you, I don't focus on that much. You can say what you want to say about that, but it's just so far removed from me that I don't really notice it and say anything. But apparently there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in Nigeria, man, and we should probably pay a little bit more attention to that. That's not good. It's not good. So switching over to the U.S. news, this guy, John Kerry. Yeah, good old John Kerry. Check this out. Check out what this idiot said. So John Kerry says, people would feel better about the Ukraine war if Russia would reduce emissions. He said that, guys. He said that. I mean, what are we doing? We doing yoga today? What is this stretching we got going on? Like, come on, man. No. Well, if they reduced emissions, we might be on their side. That's all I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Listen, emissions has nothing to do with the reasons people don't support what's going on in Ukraine, man. Oh, man. That is terrible. Like, listen, I know it's a politician's job to support their agendas, right? I totally get that. But at what point do you look at it and realize, like, maybe you're not the guy to be advertising this? You know what I mean? Like, just like go get them a desk job or something. Let somebody else advertise for it. Reduce emissions. Get out of here. Get out of here. Maybe if they had electric tanks going into these towns, we'd feel a little bit better about it. Because they would die on the side of the road and they'd never get anywhere. All right. So, let's see. A Minnesota mother is accused of drowning her child because she could not enjoy her bath. That's right. So apparently this mother just wanted some peace and quiet. So all you kids out there, all you toddlers that probably are never going to listen to this, leave your moms alone. Okay? They just want to enjoy their bath. And if they can't enjoy their bath, you might end up at the bottom of that bath. No, all jokes aside, it's absolutely disgusting. I hope she is hung from a pole and left to die a painful death until the crows feast on her carcass. Because apparently this lady, not only did she drown her kid, she then didn't even have the realization that she had done anything wrong and tried, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's ever a situation where, like, that's an okay thing, right? But I can't fathom the idea of doing something like that and then being able to just wrap the kid up in a blanket or a towel and throw it in the dumpster, which is what she did. So I don't know what's going on up there in Minnesota, but that's absolutely disgusting. I wish her a painful death, a very painful death. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand that, man. Like, it's got to be something from the animal kingdom that just carried over to us, right? Because that stuff kind of happens in the wild sometimes, right? Where the mothers will kill the babies or whatever. And it's not super common, I don't think, but it's common enough, right? And so, like, I don't know if that's just a trait that carried over. I don't understand how you could do that. I just don't. Just like I don't understand how men can willfully be absent from their kids' lives, right? Like, I understand the legal parts, right? I know things happen there, but I'm talking about like willfully choosing to be absent from their kids' lives. Like that, there's just certain things I just can't comprehend how we get there, how we got to that point. And that's kind of one of those. Like, I don't understand how a parent could kill their own kid. Cause I don't know. Like, I mean, my kids, maybe my kids are just that good to me, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I can't fathom that. I don't know. It really bothers me. It's horrible. And so, like I said, I hope, don't give her the death penalty, but make that be tying her ass to a pole and just let her, dehydrate to death and starve to death. Like, let it be brutal and painful. Don't put her in a cell and wait for stuff. I don't know. That's messed up. Let's see. An angry Florida woman, this is a few days ago, an angry Florida woman allegedly breaks into ex-boyfriend's home, tosses pickled pork on his couch, and then throws Sprite at him. Of all things, though, pickled pork. So apparently she, the Ring doorbell or whatever, caught her using the spare key. So they say she broke in, but she used a key. Okay. So clearly they were on good enough terms. She knew where the key was. She throws this pickled pork all over the guy's couch, and they end up outside or whatever. She ends up allegedly throwing a Sprite at the guy. The article doesn't go into what was the cause behind all this hostility, but I think we can all connect the dots here. We can all connect. Who throws pickled pork on a couch? First of all, who eats pickled pork? Let's talk about that one. I didn't even know that was a thing, that you could go buy that. Like, I thought you had to like mix up a bunch of ingredients in a crock pot or something. But apparently you could just buy a jar of it and it comes in juice and you just throw that on a... God, what would that smell like? That poor guy, he's going to have to get a new couch. And he's going to have to hide his key because now everybody knows he keeps his spare key under the mat, It's all in the national news. Absolutely crazy. So, listen, guys, if you're out there doing funky stuff, man, be careful. These girls might bring that pickled pork back to you. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Absolutely. And of course it would be in Florida. Like, this couldn't be in like Delaware or something. No, it had to be in Florida. Florida, of all places. So, I don't know. Moving on to some local news, though. Hey, so I've been pretty vocal about this on the socials all weekend long. Alyssa Peely, the forward for the Utah Utes women's basketball team, she's a finalist for the Katrina McLean Award, and it's an award that's given to the best power forward in NCAA sports. So I think there's 5 of them that are finalists, and she's one of them. I did a whole video my sports talk episode yesterday on the YouTube channel, kind of outlines a little bit of why I'm supportive of this lady. But she's an amazing athlete, guys. So if you haven't done so, please go over and give her a vote. The website is www.hoophallawards.com. You can go over there. You can navigate the site, and you should be able to find the area. But if you want the direct link to take you to the area, head over to my socials, facebook.com/average discussion, Instagram, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at AVG discussion for X. All the links are there. That'll take you straight to that. Head over there, give her a vote. It takes a couple minutes. It's not really a big deal. You can vote once a day. But look it up. Like, she's an amazing athlete, and I think she deserves the support. So I'm going to use whatever little bit of platform I have to try to help that out. So again, Alyssa Peely, Utah Utes women's basketball team, Katrina McLean Award. Head over there and show her some love, okay? So the second thing here that we'll talk about is the new state flag for Utah is official. Now, it's been around for a bit. There was a lot of petitions to get the old one back. I don't recall the reason why people were upset. I think it had something to do with tax money. But either way, the old one was like an all blue one with a capital seal and all that. In my opinion, it looked classy. I prefer the old one. It felt more historic. It felt more traditional, I guess you could say. But at the end of the day, it's a damn flag. I don't really give a crap about it. Dang it, I slipped up. I think that was the first time I slipped up on the entire thing. Dang it, we are about 15 minutes, 20 seconds into this, and I actually slipped up. Dang it, I'm sorry. But hey, it's a work in progress. It's a flag though. I don't really care about it. So the new one has, it's a dark blue, white, and red. The white is in the shape of like a mountain skyline, and then there's an emblem of a big honeycomb, or a beehive, excuse me, because the beehive state and all that. Like I said, I don't remember. Excuse me, guys. I don't remember the exact reasons everybody was upset, because it's just one of those things I didn't care about. It's so far down the spectrum of things that I try to concern myself with. But I want to say it was related to tax dollars being used for it or something like that. But either way, the new one is official. Passed. Everything's good to go. It is officially the new state flag. And all I want to know is why is honey so expensive in the state then? That's all I want to know. That stuff is ridiculous. Have you seen the price of honey? Good Lord, it's a car payment. It's crazy. And you don't get that much for it. I think that's probably the craziest part. Absolutely crazy. Third article here. So is Utah Little California, or as I put in my notes, Lil, like a cool rap name, right? Little California. Utah ranks third in the nation for most unaffordable housing market behind Hawaii and California. And that's no surprise to me. I've noticed the price hikes going on around here. But here's the thing. We promoted a lot of industry and a lot of growth, and a lot of people wanted to move here. We became very, very dominant in our economy, especially during 2020. We did a lot of good things to kind of keep that going. And it was appealing to people. And I think this is the result of it. People want to be here now. Unless you're an NBA team or NBA All-Star game, they don't want to be here because we don't have nightlife, but we've got economy. So, a lot of people want to move here and live here. Our crime rate's relatively low. A lot of good things. So it's no surprise to me that happened. All I'll say is that I think we are, for the amount of people that are upset by this, that live within the community, in my opinion, it's one of those things that we all loved it when it was good for us, and now it's kind of getting hard, and now we're complaining about it, right? Because obviously, like there's new people all the time trying to buy houses, so it sucks for them. I totally feel for them. There's people like the young couple that lives across the street from me, where they buy it at a ridiculous cost, and then it kind of comes down, and now they're trapped in it and they can't afford it, and they're trying to get out and trying to sell it. I don't know if they can't afford it, if they're just trying to sell it. To be honest, I don't really know them like that, but this is just my assumption, right? And they're stuck, man, because they owe more than they're going to be able to sell it for. So they're upside down in it. And, I think a few years back, if you threw a rock 15 in any direction, you were going to hit 15 realtors, right? And everybody was selling houses, man. It was super easy, I think. Obviously I wasn't in that field, but just by the sheer amount of people doing it, I'm assuming it was pretty easy to sell houses. It was so easy, in fact, that my realtor didn't even have to have any sense of professionalism. She could show up with her purple hair that wasn't combed properly at all, her leggings, and just falling out of a car, vaping. I don't know if she was vaping, but I'm pretty sure she was vaping. She didn't even have to try. And, I don't know. I feel like we've just kind of come full circle with that, where the number of realtors you see kind of going around is down. And I think that's because it's hard. It's hard to sell houses right now. And so that's what I'm referring to when I say, we all relished in it when it was good for us. But now that times are tough, now all of a sudden it's a big problem. But it's always been a problem. I remember, first coming out of high school and everything, just trying to find places and rent and all this. And at the time, I thought it was expensive. I would love those prices now, but at the time, like it was hard. It was stressful. It's always been a thing. So the root of the problem is much deeper, I think, than a lot of people want to give it credit for. Real estate being a prime opportunity for financial gain is, I don't have a solution for it, but that's a huge problem for us. The simple fact that it's okay to charge people what we charge them for rents, the simple fact that it's okay to look at a piece of dirt and say that it's valued at what they say it's valued at, is absolutely crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. So I don't know. So that's my local news. So I think this is the format I'm going to try to stick with. I'll do some world news, followed by U.S. news, followed by some local news here, because I think I got a lot more local listeners than I do out-of-state listeners. But with my final thoughts, I'm going to try to change that. So here's something that I've been kind of flirting around with, an idea of, that I really want to try to do. And that is, I wanted to do a segment at least once a week where I talk with small business owners, give them a platform to kind of promote their stuff, give a little bit of history about themselves, locations, what they're capable of doing, all those things, why they decided to do what they're doing. And I want to do that because I want to help. Obviously selfishly, I'm hoping that translates to people being interested in my show for sure, but I also want to help. I mean, what's the point of being in a community if we don't act as a community, right? So I want to start locally just because I think that will be easier to get it rolling, right? But then I have no problem. I want to venture out of the state, maybe talk to some people on, I don't know what the coolest video apps are these days, but like Zoom or something like that, right? And have a conversation with these people and give them a platform. I'm not looking for anything in return. I'm not looking for them to advertise me. If they do, great. If they don't, whatever. I don't need 20% off their products or anything like that. It's literally just an idea where they can get some free advertising, to be honest with you. I don't know that I have that much of a following, okay, but hey, it's free. I'm not looking for anything. So if you're listening and you know somebody who might be interested in participating in that, please reach out to me and let me know so I can get that going. I think it'd be a good thing. Not really sure what it could turn into, but I hope it could turn into something pretty cool. So that's one idea that I'm flirting with. But the other thing that I want to do, and this one's going to take me a second because I got to figure out how to do it the right way without, because it's kind of one of those things. It sounds good in nature, but once it goes bad, you can be held liable, right? And I want to be able to use my community, this average discussion community, as a source of support. And anybody who knows me knows that I've gone through some things, okay? And there's things like mental health that I take very seriously. I drank way too much. I had way too much going on upstairs, and it all boiled over into a really bad mix. And I was in a position where I had to focus on taking care of my mental health. I had to address those issues that I just kept pushing to the side. And I take that very seriously. It's not something that I talk lightly about. I don't let people around me make comments about offing themselves and things like that. Those are just things I don't do. I can have some dark humor about a lot of things, don't get me wrong, but there's certain aspects of that I don't allow to be around me because I do take it very serious. And I want to help people who are going through similar stuff, Addiction's a huge part of our world. And it's a very hard thing for a lot of people to get out of. And I think that's because they don't have very good support sometimes. Sometimes it's their own selfish choices that lead them back to it, right? But I feel like those are easier things to avoid if you have good support. And so I want to do something about that. There's AA meetings and all that stuff, right? But I've learned that sometimes you can't wait for those, right? And I would like to have a place whether it be on the internet or in person, where no matter the time, if you find yourself in one of those situations, you have a support system somewhere. And again, this is going to take me a second to set up because I really have to think this through, because again, it's one of those things that it's all fine and dandy when you're actually helping people. But the minute something bad happens, they look at you and say, well, this person didn't know what they're doing. And that's the truth too, right? Because I don't know what I'm doing. All I can share with somebody is the experiences that I went through, the things that I personally found as being effective to help myself. Right, the things that I've realized about myself, the ways that I've looked internally and broke down some of the things, right? But I would really like to do that, So if that's something you might be interested in, helping me out with, definitely same thing. Reach out to me, because I think it could be good, man. And obviously, like, my mindset is local right now because that's something that I know I could physically be involved with. I'm not all this social media work that I've been trying to do, it's exhausting to me. Like, I'll browse memes and stuff, but I've never really been interactive on the socials, and I'm trying to be to get this show out there, and it's exhausting. So I don't know that I'm the best person for an online version of this, right? I don't know. This is just kind of where my head's at. This is the final thoughts segment, and that's kind of just where I'm thinking, But I would like to be more helpful. I talk a lot about helping, but then when it comes down to it, I haven't really put a lot of that into action on more than just a personal level, right? Like, if you reach out to me personally, I'll listen to you all day long. But I haven't been very proactive in getting out there and actually trying to help without it coming to me first. And that's what I want to change, is that part of it. I think I do very well in just being there for people, but I haven't been very proactive, and I want to change that. I need some damn purpose in my life. I messed up again. That's okay. That's like the D word's like preschool cussing, right? Like, that's not really a bad word, is it? Can I say that? As long as I don't drop like the F-bombs, right? Or the B word, it should be all right. I don't know. And I totally lost my spot because I caught myself cussing. I don't know. But yeah, that's where my head's at. So, I don't know. I think it'd be a good thing for a lot of people. Maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, right? I mean, maybe I assume people need that because that's what I needed. And I had a great support system. To be 100% honest, I had a very great support system. My wife was my biggest support system, but I also had, friends of mine from the military. They were very good support systems for me. So maybe I just assumed that that would be beneficial because of that. I don't know, but either way, I was talking about purpose. There it is. Yeah. No, I need some purpose in my life, man. I need a reason to feel proud about what I do every day. That's because obviously, like, I'm proud about my kids. I'm proud about my family. I'm proud of where we've ended up. Don't get me wrong. All those things I'm very proud of, but on the day-to-day basis, I don't have a lot of things that I'm proud of that I'm personally a part of. You know what I'm saying? My job does not provide any sense of purpose or pride. And I don't think most people's jobs do, but like I've said before, I came from a job that had a pretty big purpose, and it's hard to find even a small portion of that again. And I miss it. I miss the purpose part. I miss feeling like what I was doing or what I am doing is bettering somebody or something. I miss that a lot. So, I don't know. These are just brainstorms. Like I said, if you know anybody who runs a small business, makes live, laugh, love stickers in their basement, I don't know, who might be interested in being my guinea pig for that, please let me know. I think it could be really cool. I'd like to show some love to people, and I feel like that'll return the favor eventually. And I think it's just a good thing to do. So, you know, somebody who might be interested, reach out to me, let me know, and we'll get it set up. But hey, as far as today goes, guys, we're going to go ahead and end that. We're about 30 minutes in. This is probably one of my quicker ones. I'm trying to be better about that. I learned that with the video yesterday. So again, if you haven't checked out the video Sports Talk, it's on YouTube. The youtube.com. The channel is called Average Discussion. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to be able to incorporate that same format with this because I record from Studio Silverado, whereas yesterday I recorded that in my house. So not really sure. We'll figure that out. But either way, let's see. Where can you find me? You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Average Discussion. Instagram, Average Discussion. X, formerly known as Twitter, @AVG Discussion. I am on Threads, Average Discussion. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. I don't know that I'm missing any. Threads is pretty lame, by the way. I would like for it not to be. It seems pretty easy to navigate and could be very useful, but I don't think there's that many people on there. So I think they have a lot of accounts that probably signed up for it originally, but there's only like 12 people on there now. Maybe 13 because I'm on there periodically. I don't know. Let's see. Anything that you want to reach out to me about directly, obviously you can message me directly on any of those social apps. But if that's not your thing, you can email me at averagediscussion@gmail.com. That's all one word, averagediscussion@gmail.com. That's where you want to send, your complaints, your gripes, your death threats, whatever it is that you want to send. That's probably the best way to do that. Let's see. Yeah, no, I think that's about it. So, hey guys, as always, please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. That's very important as well. And until next time, I'm out.